What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're over there, make sure you leave a like. We're back at it again. I got another one for y'all, man. Since we did just do the Optimus Prime ranking video, I feel like that it's only right that I end up doing the actual Bumblebee ranking video. So we definitely gonna be doing that today. As far as how that worked, the list will be worst to best design, aka there is 11 designs. So 11 will be the worst, going all the way down to number 1 spot. Which one will be the best design? Without further ado, I ain't got much else to say. Let's go ahead and get into it. Coming in at number 11 on the list is the Age of Extinction Bumblebee design. This design to me is just completely ugly. I don't like anything about this design. When I seen the movie and he had changed over to that new Camaro, I didn't even like the new alt mode, the Camaro itself. That joint was ugly. I ain't like the Camaro form, and I definitely don't like the robot form either. I don't know what these blades or whatever, I think it's the rims on the car that's hanging off his back and his side. I don't know what that is. This whole design is just ugly. I get what they went for. It definitely looks more like an actual bee, but then again, that was my problem with the Optimus Prime design. I don't like how sleek these designs look. It kind of makes it look almost like they're just a humanoid robot. Like, you kind of lose the aspect of the car parts being on the Transformer. So this design definitely was the worst design for me on the list. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Coming in at the number 10 spot, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this because I know there's a lot of G1 fans out there, but it just ain't my thing when it comes to Transformers. I love the 07 movie. That's what made me like Transformers. However, I do like some of their designs in the Bumblebee movie, but I don't know, it ain't my type of style. And that's this style right here, which is the Bumblebee movie design. Again, I know that's probably a lot of G1 fans' favorite design, but personally me, I feel like even though, yeah, it is accurate to G1, the punch buggy design is so ugly to me. The overall design of Bumblebee, his face being, well, first of all, before I even get into his face, I don't know what happened to his size, because in this movie, Bumblebee was small enough to be able to fit into a house. I don't get how his size drastically changed from the other movies, but it is what it is. Like I said, I just don't like the design. It's too corny to me, too childish and innocent. And that's all I gotta say about that one. Let's get into the next one. Coming in at number 9 on the list is the recent Transformers Rise of the Beast design. This one, again, it pretty much technically, and this one rubbed me the wrong way because this is kind of like a recycling thing, and I don't like that at all. This design is pretty much essentially the exact same design as the Bumblebee design from the Bumblebee movie, just put with the old Camaro front put on it. So the design he had of the old Camaro in the 07 Transformers, the very first one, they're pretty much trying to say that this is the same thing. However, like I said, he just don't look the same as that 07 Transformers movie. He don't look anything like that version of his design. He looks super innocent in this. He has that super big head in this. The feet, the legs, the arms, even the doors coming up in the back is literally recycled from the Bumblebee movie. I get it because it's coming right off the back in the Bumblebee, but at the same time, this is not the design he had. So how are you going to explain how it somehow progressed from this and turn into, like, if you even look at his feet, those are clearly not the same feet. When you see Bumblebee finally actually reveal itself in the 07 movie, it's just not the same. Again, I don't like the design. It's not too bad. It definitely is better than the last ones we just talked about, but it ain't my cup of tea. Let's get into the next one. Now, getting into number 8 on the list, this definitely is an interesting one. The Jeep mode that we seen in the Bumblebee movie. I definitely like this design. Never thought I would see Bumblebee turn into a Jeep or even have that type of alt mode. I definitely like it. It's different. It makes him look even more aggressive than the other forms we was just talking about. I don't have too much to say about this design considering the fact that it only showed up for, like, I think it was in the movie at the beginning for like probably what, 10, 15 minutes, something like that, before he ended up having to change into the actual punch buggy. So we didn't really see it for too long. It definitely is a cool concept. It's sleek, but yet it keeps that army Jeep composure to it. And then of course you can see the front of the Jeep poking through the chest. Not too much to say about this one. Like I said, I definitely like it. It's above the other ones on the list. It ain't nothing crazy. It's a little more simplified, but it is nonetheless a cool design. Let's get into the next one. Here we are at number 7 on the list, and this design will be the Transformers The Last Night Bumblebee design. I feel like this design, they had kind of got the picture that nobody liked Bumblebee's design from Age of Extinction, because this movie is coming right off the back end of that, and they ended up pretty much essentially going back to the Dark of the Moon look, which I feel like everybody will agree on was probably one of the best looks of Bumblebee as far as my opinion. But I definitely feel like they probably seen that nobody really liked the Age of Extinction look, so they kind of try to backtrack and make it look like that, because it pretty much looks like that. Only difference is, of course, the new front from the new Camaro that they did have in that movie is on the chest instead of the older Camaro that they had. But other than that, really ain't much different from the Dark of the Moon look. Like I said, it just pretty much changed the front of the Camaro, and then of course he has that cool hammer with him. I guess that's little points added or whatever, but ain't too much to speak about with this one. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Here we are at the number 6 spot on the list, and this spot will be going to the old Camaro design from the original 07 Transformers movie. I definitely like this design a lot. I like the fact that, you know, this is the design that brings back quote unquote a nostalgia for me as far as the original 07 Transformers and watching that as a kid. When I seen Bumblebee do that little drift to the side, throw Sam out and transform into this form, it was so surreal to me being able to see this on the screen. And the CGI back then, I swear the CGI back then was so much better than now. This form looked super good, especially with all the dirtiness on it and then the detail. It's really hard to find pictures of it online, but for the picture that I do have, it looks more cleaned up than it actually is in the movie. But it had a bunch of dirt and grime, and it even made me like the actual old Camaro form, because if it was in any other movie and I just seen that as a car itself without it being a Transformer, I would have definitely said that Camaro was ugly. I would definitely wouldn't be rocking with that version of the Camaro. But when he transformed it, it made me kind of even like the Camaro mode itself as well, because of how unique and live it actually looks in the robot form. I don't have too much else to say about it, other than, like I said, it brings me nostalgia when I see it. It reminds me that first time I seen that movie. Nonetheless, it's a classic design. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Here we are at the top 5 spot on the list, and we are down to the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is the original, pretty much the form that comes after the one we just did previously. The original 07 movie, updated concept Camaro design. Pretty much the new design he got in the 07 movie when he had scanned the new Camaro. This design, like I said, just like the other one, definitely a classic. I love it every time I see it. I feel like there's nothing wrong with this design. I feel like this is how Bumblebee was introduced to me. And it also is pretty much the design that they technically, like I said, ended up going back to in the movie, like The Last Night, how they try to go back to it. Because essentially this design kind of stays the same between here, Revenge of the Fallen, and Dark of the Moon. It's just tweaked and updated a little bit as far as regarding the actual alt form, aka the car mode. But other than that, like I said, it's a classic design. Definitely deserves a spot at the top 5. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Coming in at number 4 on the list, we have the Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee design. And like I just said, essentially this one and the previous 07 design are essentially the same exact design. Only difference is if you take a look at the grille of the car on his chest, they had tweaked it to look just like the actual car mode, and then that's a whole nother thing itself. The actual car mode even looks better as well in this movie. I like how the front has that more aggressive look, as well as the updated Camaro look, and it definitely translated well over into his robot form. I love how aggressive the chest area looks with the Camaro parts. But other than that, like I said, it technically is the same as the other design, so I don't have nothing too crazy to talk about it. I feel like this design, the previous one, the next one, pretty much lines up perfect right here, and you can kind of switch them back and forth either way. It really don't matter, because essentially they are the same design, just tweaked a little bit to look better. Here we are down to the top 3, and coming in at number 3, of course, is the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee design. Like I said, there's a reason in The Last Night they ended up trying to go back to this design, because it's a fan favorite, and it is one of my favorite designs. It definitely is up there, clearly, if it's in the top 3. And as far as 3, 2, and 1, these can kind of be shifted around, honestly, because like I said, this is one of my favorite designs. I remember seeing this on the screen, and I feel like Bumblebee's design can't get any liver than this. I definitely like how they had that bracket look bumper of the car on his chest. It definitely gives a more aggressive look to him. And I mean, come on now, Bumblebee was just live in this movie in general. But I'm not gonna have too much to speak on as far as this design, because like I said, it's no different than the other two we just took a look at. It's just, like I said, again, the chest plate area has been updated. Definitely is a top favorite. There's a reason all the fans like it. Without further ado, let's get into the next one. Coming in at number 2 is, bro, every time I see this, I just can't get over how live it looks. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the black and yellow old Camaro design from Transformers Age of Extinction. I, for the life of me, don't know why they did not just keep this design on Bumblebee, because to me, it is one of the hardest designs, from the blackiness of it, like the toughness look to it, to the black coloring instead of it being fully yellow with black on it. I like how it's the black with yellow. On top of that, the Camaro itself, I feel like the alt mode itself, the Camaro, was one of the best looks as far as Camaros throughout the series. The car mode and the robot form was just hard. I love seeing him walk up the hill after he had done transform. This version of Bumblebee just looks super aggressive. I loved it. One of my favorite designs. It has not changed to this day. Without further ado, let's go and get into the next one. Coming in at the #1 spot on my list. A lot of y'all might hate me, a lot of y'all might not, a lot of y'all might agree with me. This design is one of the hardest designs I've ever seen as far as Bumblebee designs, and I don't know why, for the life of me, it was only included as just a flashback and then we never seen it again. The design I'm talking about is the World War II Bumblebee design from Transformers Last Night. This design is just so live to me, bro. It looks super aggressive when it was on screen. I love the olive green look, the real faded olive green look. I love how aggressive the chest piece looks. Just the overall look, bro. It being bulky and built in the right areas, like how the legs are perfectly contoured to going up to that bigger upper half. And of course, he has the hammer with him. This design, bro, I don't know. Something about this design, I don't know if it's because it's that war aspect to it or the fact that it looks like he legit got armor on him, because the pieces on the actual alt mode did have that armor on it. It transforms over into his robot form. You can see that in the pictures. This thing is just live. The design I talked about before this was my favorite until I did see this design, and it automatically beat out that other form for #1 for the simple fact that, like I said, this is just hard. And I'm mad that we only seen it like once in a flashback and then we never seen it ever again. I hope they revisit this design because, like I said, it is definitely a live design. But without further ado, that pretty much wraps up my list, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the list down in the comments. Y'all also let me know what y'all's favorite Bumblebee design is down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Till then, I'm out. Stay tuned.